Sri Krishna Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We're on Canto 3, Chapter 23, text 36 to 37. We're seeing the opulence of Kardama Muni. Satam kritam alasnanam vibrajantim apurvavat atmano vibratim rupam samvita ruchirastanim vidyadhari sahasrena seva manam suvasasam jata bhavo vimanam tad arohayad amitrahan. The sage could see that Devahuti had washed herself clean and was shining forth as though no longer his former wife. She had regained her own original beauty as the daughter of a prince. Dressed in excellent robes, her charming breasts duly girdled, she was waited upon by 1,000 Gandharva girls. O destroyer of the enemy, his fondness for her grew, and he placed her on the aerial mansion. So now the whole scene is being set so that Kapila Muni can appear. The main part of this section is Kapila Shiksha, that Lord Kapila Dev is going to instruct Devahuti, his mother. So we can see that she has so much opulence, but she's going to be putting very, very important questions to Kapila Dev. Before her marriage, when Devahuti was brought by her parents before the sage Kardama, she was the perfectly beautiful princess, and Kardama Muni remembered her former beauty. But after her marriage, when she was engaged in the service of Kardama Muni, she neglected to care for her body like a princess, since there was no means for such care. Her husband was living in a cottage, and since she was always engaged in serving him, her royal beauty disappeared, and she became just like an ordinary maidservant. Now, after being bathed by the Gandharva girls, by the order of Kardama Muni's yogic power, she regained her beauty, and Kardama Muni felt attracted to the beauty she had shown before the marriage. The real beauty of a young woman is her breast. When Kardama Muni saw the breasts of his wife so nicely decorated, increasing her beauty many times, he was attracted, even though he was a great sage. Sripad Shankaracharya has therefore warned the transcendentalists that one who is after transcendental realization should not be attracted by the raised breasts of a woman, because they are nothing but an interaction of fat and blood within the body. So here, so opulent, and Kardama Muni is getting attracted. But now what is Sripad Shankaracharya? Well, Prabhupada is saying that Sripad Shankaracharya is saying, if we are really interested to understand self-realization, to get liberation, that we are not the body, we are the soul, then don't get attracted to this body. After all, this body is just matter. It's fat and blood within the body, you know. So this is what, the point is, Prabhupada is saying that this is body, and of course we are not the body, we are the soul. So tasmin alupta mahima priya yanurakto vidyadharibhir upachirna vapur vimane babraja utkacha kumud ganavan apichiyas tarabir avrita evodu patir nabahastaha. So it's not that, so Kardama Muni understands that we are not the body, we are the soul, because he was a great yogi, right? He could see the Lord face to face. He's a great devotee. He understands already we are not the body, we are the soul. Yet he's providing such things for his wife. Why? Because we are, after all, inside the body. We have to take care of the body. Not that, oh, I say that I'm the soul, I'm not the body, so I don't care about the body. The body is a machine which helps us in our self-realization. And also, the higher understanding is the body does not belong to me. It belongs to Krishna. So it needs to be engaged in the service of Krishna, that I'm not the body, but I'm inside the body. Does that make sense? So then care of the body is also needed. So though seemingly attached to the beloved consort while served by the Gandharva girls, the sage did not lose his glory, which was mastery over his self. In the aerial mansion, Kardama Muni with his consort shone as charmingly as the moon in the midst of the stars in the sky, which causes rows of lilies to open in ponds at night. The mansion was in the sky, and therefore the comparison to the full moon and stars is very beautifully composed in this verse. Kardama Muni looked like the full moon, and the girls who surrounded his wife Devahuti seemed just like the stars. On a full moon night, the stars and the moon together form a beautiful constellation. Similarly, in that aerial mansion in the sky, Kardama Muni, with his beautiful wife and the damsels surrounding them, appeared like the moon and stars on a full moon night. So a very beautiful description is being given here. The whole ambience is very beautiful of the moon and the stars.
But here it is to do with sense gratification, right?
Exactly, that's right.
Yeah.
This is, yes, this is. And so that's why we are going to be hearing Devahuti's questions later, you know. This is like the highest kind of sense gratification, right? You know, there's so many people bathing you, you're dressed so beautifully, so much ornaments, you have the most luxurious house, so many diamonds, so much, such a valuable house you have.
And he got attracted with her, you know, her appearance. Like she was beautiful, her breast was raised.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So then, but also because he has to play the part, right? He's a yogi, he's a devotee of the Lord. But because he had promised, I will give you a son, I will give you a child, and then I'm going to leave back. I'm going to go again to do my puja, my devotional service. So now he has to give her a son. So he has to get into the mood of a son. Otherwise, if he stays situated on the platform of the soul, he's like nothing to do with the body. He's like, what's going to happen? You know, what are you doing? I don't want to be with you, kind of. But he has to come to this platform to be able to get Kapila Muni.
It was her desire, right?
It was her desire, and it was also the desire of the Lord to come as Lord Kapila Dev through Kardama Muni and his wife Devahuti, so that he can give us this valuable teachings of the Sankhya philosophy, which he's going to speak.
So everything is so planned. Like,
so planned, yes. Yes, this is totally to do with sense gratification. This part that we are reading, yes, it's totally that. Yeah. So also it goes to say that, you know, Devahuti, we are going to see that she has the best of the best things, yet she's feeling dissatisfied. And then she begins her questions. Tenasta lokapa vihara kula chalendra dronishva anga sakamaruta saubhagasu siddher nuto dhyu dhunipata shivasvanasu reme chiram dhana daval lana varuthi. In that aerial mansion, he traveled to the pleasure valleys of Mount Meru, which were rendered all the more beautiful by cool, gentle, fragrant breezes that stimulated passion. So he's gone to Mount Meru. It means Mount Meru is not on this earth planet. It's one of those heavenly mountains over there. In these valleys, the treasure of the gods, Kuvera, surrounded by beautiful women and praised by the Siddhas, generally enjoys pleasure. Kardama Muni, also surrounded by the beautiful damsels, and his wife went there and enjoyed for many, many years. Kuvera is one of the 8 demigods who are in charge of different directions of the universe. It is said that Indra is in the charge of the eastern direction, of the eastern side of the universe, where the heavenly planet or paradise is situated. So Indra, he is the eastern, the Swargalok. He's in charge of the heavenly planet, right? Swargalok. He's the ruler of all the demigods, basically. The king of the demigods, he's called. So he's where the heavenly planet, Swargalok. So many people mistaken that once you reach Swarg means that's liberation. No, Swarg is also inside this material world where you can just enjoy more and more, but still we are still inside a body, we are not yet situated in our platform of the soul. So similarly, Agni is in charge of the southern portion of the universe. So east and then south is Agni. Then Yama, the demigod who punishes sinners, is in charge of the southern, southeastern. Sorry, Agni is southeast and Yam is in south. So that's Yamaraj. Then Nirti is in charge of the southwestern part of the universe. Nirti. I'm not sure who's Nirti. If anyone knows, can add to it. I'm not sure who's he. Anyway, Varuna, the demigod, is in charge of the waters. He is in charge of the western portion. Vayu, who controls the air and who has wings to travel in the air, is in charge of the northwestern part of the universe. And Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods, is in charge of the northern part of the universe. All these demigods take pleasure in the valleys of Mount Meru, which is situated somewhere between the sun and the earth. So this Mount Meru is between sun and earth. We are going to read more detailed description of the structure of the universe in the 5th canto. In the aerial mansion, Kardama Muni traveled throughout the 8 directions controlled by the different demigods described above. And as the demigods go to Mount Meru, he also went there to enjoy life. When one is surrounded by beautiful young girls, sex stimulation naturally becomes prominent. Kardama Muni was sexually stimulated and he enjoyed his wife for many, many years in that part of Mount Meru. But his sex indulgence was praised by many, many siddhas, beings who have attained perfection. Now, why? Sex is supposed to be not good, but here, why it is being praised by the self-realized souls? Siddha. Siddha means they've attained perfection, means they're already situated on the platform of the soul. They're already liberated persons. That's why they're called Siddha. Now, why? Why it's being praised? Why? Because his intention is to get good progeny. Good progeny for what? For the good of this universal affairs, because his daughters are going to get married to all these great personalities. After all, the universe has to carry on, no? It has to be populated. There has to be people. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he is also, what does he say? That he is also the sex desire for having good children. So when the desire is to have good child, then that sex is Krishna. That is not against regulative principles. That's not illicit. So Krishna is being very practical. He's telling us, although, okay, so how he's being so practical, he's understanding that we are the soul, we are right now inside the body. So the reason we are in the body is because there are certain desires, and this whole cosmic manifestation is created so that we can understand that we have to give up these desires, live peacefully, fulfill whatever desires in a most peaceful manner, and at the end of life, give up the life and again go back home, So because if we artificially renounce, we artificially say, no, I am the soul, I'm not the body, so I'm not going to eat. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? We'll end up becoming psychotic and we might end up, I don't know, doing crazy things. So because we are inside the body, there are the needs of the body also. And we need this body to be able to attain the platform of self-realization. So that's the reason. Krishna, very practically, he's telling us how we can use this body to get out of this body. Yeah. So Vaishram Bhake Surasane Nandane Pushpa Bhadrake Manase Chaitra Thayecha Sarime Ramaya Rataha. Satisfied by his wife, he enjoyed in that aerial mansion, not only on Mount Meru, but in different gardens known as Vaishrambaka, Surasana, Nandana, Pushpa Bhadraka, and Chaitrathaya, and by the Manasarovar lake, the Manasarovar. So he's going to all these Nandanandan. These are like heavenly gardens, very, very beautiful places. We get so attracted by Mother Nature here when we are going to a beautiful place, right? We're like, oh, wow, so beautiful. But in the heavenly planets, it's even more beautiful, even more beautiful. But it's still within the material world. Brajeshuna vimanena kamagena mahiyasa vaimanikan atyasheta karalokan yathanilaha. He traveled in that way through the various planets as the air passes, uncontrolled in every direction. Coursing through the air in that great and splendid aerial mansion, which could fly at his will, he surpassed even the demigods. So nobody's stopping him in his aeroplane. I mean, this is kind of his aeroplane, right? In which he can live and sleep and eat, and his palace. His palace is like a flying aeroplane. So here we have to apply visas even to go from one country to another. Just on the same planet, we are stopped. No, you can't enter. What is your qualification? Do you have visa? Do you have the authority, the approval to enter? Kardamamani, he has the liberty to go to any planet. He's going everywhere. Nobody's stopping him. He has that qualification. The planets occupied by the demigods are restricted in their own orbits, but Kardamamani, by his yogic power, could travel all over the different directions of the universe without restriction. The living entities who are within the universe are called conditioned souls. That is, they're not free to move everywhere. So we right now, we are inside this material world, and we are called conditioned souls. Why are we conditioned? We are conditioned to thinking that I'm the body. That is our conditioning. I'm thinking I'm the body. I'm not able to understand that I'm the soul. I'm not the body. So we have certain restrictions. We are inhabitants of this earthly globe, but we cannot move freely to other planets. In the modern age, man is trying to go to other planets, but so far he has been unsuccessful. It is not possible to travel to any other planets because by the laws of nature, even the demigods cannot move from one planet to another. So if we try to reach, we force ourselves to go to another planet, we are actually not able to enter that planet as it is, because the atmosphere of each planet is different. Each planet has their own, you need a different type of a body to live in that planet. Same, like even in this planet, to live inside the water, we need, the organs which can help us to live in the water. And then if in the land, then we need a body which helps us live on the land. So in the higher planets within this material world, people have bodies suitable to live in that planet. So we can't just barge in there. We can't barge. But Kardamamani, by his yogic power, could surpass the strength of the demigods and travel in space in all directions. The comparison here is very suitable. The words Yatha Anilaha indicate that as the air is free to move anywhere without restriction, so Kardamamani unrestrictedly traveled in all directions of the universe. So the air, very nice example, air goes anywhere. Air goes anywhere. So Kardamamani was going, but we have to understand this is only within the universe. It's still in the material world. It's not in the spiritual world. Still in the material world. So then it goes to see also Kardamamani, a pure devotee of the Lord. He's agreeing to the will of the Lord, right? See, he has no interest in these things. He's already yogi. He's already seen the Lord. What more do you want? You don't need anything more, right? You've seen the Lord. And then, but he's a Prajapati. It is his, he's doing the duty. Brahma, he's Brahma's son. And Brahmaji is creating all these great, great personalities. Why? Because Brahmaji's duty is to populate the universe. The people have to start Living entities have to start inhabiting. So Kardama Muni, devotee of the Lord, yet he agrees to do this service so that, like, so many different souls can get the different bodies, they can, do the, get the different body, then they can do the activity, whatever their desires are, and at the same time cultivate spiritual knowledge and go back home, back to Godhead. So we can see how the devotees are acting as instruments in the hands of the Lord. Now, if Krishna was supposed to tell us something to do, we're like, no, Krishna, I think I don't want to do it. I think I want to do it this way. What do y'all think? No, I don't want to do it. I think people will say bad about me. So I'd rather not do it. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Any comments to that? Well, that's what we do. And that's why we are still inside the body,
Yeah, then we are going against, no?
Yeah. And then that's why we continue from one body to another. Like imagine Bhishma Dev, he's a Mahajan. So he's a liberated person. Huh? He does not think he's the body. He's already on the platform of the soul. Liberated, no? He's a liberated person, Jivan Mukta, although he's inside this world. But yet, when the Asat Sabha happened, he kept his mouth quiet. He kept quiet. That Draupadi was being insulted. Draupadi is being insulted. Then why? Because Krishna has to show, no matter how great you are, you're a great warrior, you're a great righteous person, but if you do this wrong, you will be annihilated. You will be killed. So Krishna always uses his devotees to teach us how we should live in this world. After all, we have to live in this world, right? You can't say, no, I'm not in this world. But then I'm just living in my mind. Then I'm not accepting the reality. Oh yes, I'm very much here in this world. So Krishna always uses his pure devotees to teach us. So reading on, Kim Durapadanam Tesham Pumsam Udama Chetasam Yer Ashritas Tirthapadas Charano Vyasanat Yayaha. What is difficult to achieve for determined men who have taken refuge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's lotus feet? His feet are the source of sacred rivers like the Ganges, which put an end to the dangers of mundane life. So people take a bath in the Ganga, they wash all their sins, means already no more karma left, right? So means can get liberated. But what's the fault that we do? We wash in the Ganga, we come back, but our heart is not changed. Then we continue doing sinful activities. Then again, we continue to live more in this material world. But what the sages are saying that, so just by bathing in the Ganga, we can get liberation and dangers of mundane life. Then what is to speak of the devotees of the Lord who have taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, What is not possible for them? The words Yer Ashritas Tirtha Padas Charana are significant here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Tirtha Pad. The Ganges is called a sacred river because it emanates from the toe of Vishnu. The Ganges is meant to eradicate all the material distresses of the conditioned souls. So the Ganges is sacred. Why? Because she's touching the lotus feet of the Lord. So the lotus feet of the Lord, he's spiritual. He's on the absolute platform. So anything that comes in touch with him becomes spiritual, right? The spiritual platform is a platform. It's an absolute platform, not this material. It's not like this material. So therefore, nothing is impossible for any living entity who has taken shelter of the holy lotus feet of the Lord. Nothing is impossible for any living entity who has taken shelter of the holy lotus feet of the Lord. So one who has taken complete shelter of the Supreme Lord, he can do anything. Why he can't do it? He has the protection of the Supreme Lord. Everything is happening under the laws of the Lord. So if we are being friends with him, if we are being together with him, we can do anything. Kardama Muni is special, not because he was a great mystic, but because he was a great devotee. Therefore, it is said here that for a great devotee like Kardama Muni, nothing is impossible. So the reason Kardama Muni is being spoken of so much here is because he's a devotee of the Lord. He's a devotee, and is showing that devotees, they also have these mystic powers, but they're not, like when Kardama Muni was able to create this mansion, he didn't get amazed himself, oh, I have so much power. No, he's a devotee, so he's grateful to the Lord that I have this power by the grace of the Lord. Although yogis can perform wonderful feats, as Kardama Muni had already displayed, Kardama was more than a yogi because he was a great devotee of the Lord. Therefore, he was more glorious than any ordinary yogi. As it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, out of the many yogis, he who is a devotee of the Lord is first class. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text 47, that Madkate Nantaratmana, the yogi who's always fixed, his mind is fixed on me. He is the best of all the yogis. For a person like Kardama Muni, there is no question of being conditioned. He was already a liberated soul and better than the demigods who are also conditioned. So we can see here, he's already on the platform of the soul. He's not on the platform of the body. We are conditioned. What is our conditioning? I'm thinking I'm the body. I have forgotten that I'm the soul. But Kardama Muni, he is already self-realized. He's already on the platform that I am not this body, I am inside this body, but I am a soul. So he's already on that platform. And even the demigods are not on that platform. The demigods are also thinking we are the body. The demigods are devotees of the Lord. Yes, but they're not liberated. They're not yet realized their position as the soul, right? So here, Kardama Muni, already a liberated soul, yet he's doing like this. Although he was enjoying with his wife and many other women, he was above material conditional life. So we have to see the consciousness. You see, from outside, something may appear something. What's the consciousness of that person? So one who's already liberated, he's not thinking of himself as the body at all. So he does not have the desire to enjoy his body or another's body, right? So therefore, the word vyasanatyaya is used to indicate that he was beyond the position of a conditioned soul. He was transcendental to all material limitations. So that's his power. He's already situated on the platform of the soul, so he can do anything he likes. He's on the absolute platform. He's transcendental. But even on the absolute platform, the devotee understands that even I have the power, I'm still subordinate to the Supreme Lord. I am not the Lord. I am subordinate to the Supreme Lord. That is what a devotee is. Is that okay?
A highly elevated soul.
Highly elevated soul, yes. So we are not able to understand their activities because, oh, if I'm in this position, I have such a big palace and I have so much ornaments and all that, I will act lustily. But that is because I'm conditioned. I'm thinking I'm the body. I want to enjoy the body. I've not yet realized. So with my consciousness, if I look at a highly advanced soul, that means I'm projecting my consciousness on that person. Right? Yeah. So that's why the activities of these, the consciousness, we can't understand because we are not there yet. But by hearing, gradually, we will get liberated ourselves. So his consciousness is pure. So then we'll stop here for today.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.